Though often overlooked, women have shaped American policy on key issues from civil rights to education and the environment. Progressive era women of the early 20th century worked tirelessly to expand the scope of the federal government in overseeing issues of education, sanitation, health, wages, working conditions, and social welfare. Leading campaigns to establish vital services that we enjoy today, they were responsible for instituting fire codes for office buildings, nurses, and hot lunches in public schools, community playgrounds, free kindergartens, and public libraries. In massive numbers, women joined volunteer organizations to work for reform. Efforts often began locally and expanded to state and national levels. Women conducted research, implemented programs, and lobbied for legislation to address social, political, and economic problems that affected Americans. Some reform women, like Frances Perkins, held positions in the federal government. Frances was the first woman appointed to the U.S. Cabinet and served as U.S. Secretary of Labor from 1933 to 1945, the longest to serve in that position. During her time in office, she helped to integrate the labor movement into the New Deal coalition and established unemployment benefits, pensions for uncovered elderly Americans, and welfare for economically disadvantaged Americans under the Social Security Act. First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt spoke out in support of increased rights for women and social reforms to uplift the poor. Judith Ellen Foster, one of the first women admitted to the Iowa bar in 1872, worked as superintendent of the legislative department of the Women's Christian Temperance Union, where she dedicated herself to the cause of prohibition. Mary McLeod Bethune and Mary Church Terrell helped to found the NAACP and worked to expand educational and economic opportunities for African Americans. When the U.S. entered World War I in 1917, reform women sent relief supplies to suffering Europeans, and some women's groups sent delegations to Europe to provide relief for American soldiers. In later years, trailblazing women like the Honorable Elizabeth Dole have led the charge to bring about positive changes in the world. During 1991, when she became the first female president of the American Red Cross since Clara Barton, she demonstrated her dedication to the organization and volunteered her first year, accepting no salary. The selfless work of reformers and countless other nameless American women helped to shape the tradition of American social activism. The legacy of their work touches all of our lives today. 2016 Women Making History honoree, the Honorable Ann Veneman's long and distinguished career in public service echoes the inspirational work of reform women. From 2005 to 2010, she served as the executive director of the United Nations Children's Fund, and from 2001 to 2015 as the United States Secretary of Agriculture. Secretary Veneman's leadership and vision has been recognized both nationally and internationally. And in 2009, she was named to the Forbes World's 100 Most Powerful Women's list. The Honorable Veneman started her early career as a public defender and practiced law in California and in Washington, D.C. From 1986 to 1993, she served in various positions in the USDA, including Deputy Secretary, Deputy Undersecretary for International Affairs, and Associate Administrator of the Foreign Agricultural Service. At USDA, Secretary Veneman advanced an expanded trade agenda, food protection, progressive farm policy, responsible forest policy, and stronger nutrition programs. She also served as Secretary of the California Department of Food and Agriculture from 1995 to 1999, overseeing the state agency responsible for the nation's largest agricultural producing region. As Secretary of the United States Department of Agriculture, she directed one of the most diverse federal agencies with a budget of $113 billion and 110,000 employees. At UNICEF, she directed a staff of over 11,000 in more than 150 countries around the world. Secretary Veneman has worked to support child health and nutrition, quality basic education for all, access to clean water and sanitation, the protection of children and women from violence, exploitation, and HIV/AIDS. She traveled to more than 70 countries to review the plight of children, to witness the devastation caused by natural disaster, conflict, disease, and exploitation, and to advance programs aimed at improving and saving lives. Please welcome to the stage 2016 Women Making History honoree, the Honorable Ann Veneman.